This is exactly what the Russian offensive looks like on the ground. Tanks and artillery units exploding one after another. In the footage, a Russian unit can be seen advancing toward Ukrainian positions. A tank lays down a dense smoke screen and continues its assault. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces deploy FPV drones to halt the enemy's advance. With a precise strike, the entire convoy is brought to a stop. Realizing this, Russian soldiers abandon their armored vehicles and scatter in panic. Ukrainian artillery units waste no time exploiting this opportunity. The immobilized tanks become prime targets, and accurate artillery strikes engulf enemy vehicles in flames. To ensure the burning vehicles are completely destroyed, air support is called in. The operator carefully identifies the weakest point of the vehicle and releases a 5-kilogram explosive charge. A massive fire erupts inside the BMP. Just minutes later, the ammunition inside ignites and the BMP is blown apart. At the same time, another drone positions itself to eliminate a nearby tank. The operator calmly takes aim and lands a direct hit on the target. Total destruction follows. Ukrainian UAVs also detect an M3 air defense system valued at around $45 million. Although Russian forces attempt to conceal this valuable asset, the coordinates are quickly relayed to the rocket artillery units. A GMLRS rocket, launched from a HIMARS system, hits the target directly, wiping it out completely. Another BMP advancing toward Ukrainian positions is intercepted by an FPV drone. The drone disables the target with a single precise strike, leaving the BMP motionless. Russian troops had reinforced the vehicle, its hull covered with barbed wire and equipped with a powerful jamming system. Yet even these countermeasures failed to stop the Ukrainian operator's precision. A fire breaks out instantly inside. When the flames reach the ammunition, a massive explosion follows. Ukrainian observers spot a massive convoy of Russian armored vehicles advancing. Nearby, 2 Leopard tanks are lying in wait. As they lock onto their targets, the Leopards open fire without hesitation. The first Russian tank runs over anti-personnel mines, while the second one is hit directly by a Leopard's round, followed by a massive explosion. The Leopard continues firing rapidly, as if on a shooting range. An armored personnel carrier is struck. Then another enemy vehicle bursts into flames. Panicked infantry abandon their vehicles, though some turn toward nearby settlements instead of retreating further. The Leopard maneuvers and fires again. The first shell hits its mark, and the second one completely disables the damaged vehicle. Next, attention turns to enemy infantry occupying several nearby buildings. The tank moves closer and opens fire. With every round, the enemy's ability to resist diminishes further. After eliminating its target, the Leopard pivots and advances toward the next position. The tank uses specialized HE ammunition to maximize structural damage. It maneuvers around the building, firing several controlled shots before moving on to a new target. Meanwhile, 2 Russian tanks advance across the battlefield, unaware that a Ukrainian Leopard is tracking them from a distance. Once it reaches an optimal firing position, the Leopard aims carefully and lands a perfect shot, destroying one tank instantly. A second shot follows. Another direct hit. The Russian assault collapses. When the crew learns that two more enemy tanks are moving several kilometers away, they waste no time and push forward. Once in range, roughly 1.5 kilometers, the Leopard steadies its gun, fires, and obliterates the target in a single shot. The second tank retreats immediately after realizing what happened. Have you noticed how Russian tanks often explode after just one hit? This clearly shows how little chance they have of surviving in combat. Western tanks, however, tell a different story. For example, one of two Ukrainian Leopards advancing along a road is struck by enemy fire. At first glance, it looks catastrophic, but the situation is actually under control. The flames you see in the footage are part of the tank's controlled ammunition release process. In the following scenes, the entire crew is seen evacuating safely. In another example, a damaged Leopard successfully evacuates its crew before stopping. The turret continues rotating, proving that the fire control systems are still operational. As the ammunition ignites, it becomes clear that every crew member has escaped unharmed. These moments highlight the vast difference in crew protection between Russian and Western tanks. Now we move to another front. The enemy is entrenched inside a building. A Ukrainian Abrams receives the coordinates, aligns its cannon, and fires. A direct hit. The second shot completely demolishes the structure. This operation is part of a coordinated assault on enemy positions. A Bradley infantry fighting vehicle enters first, suppressing resistance with continuous fire. Then the Abrams rolls in, systematically eliminating enemy strongholds. Timely support ensures Ukrainian forces maintain their advantage. At the same time, a Russian tank appears, attempting to neutralize the defending units. But it makes a critical mistake. It fails to notice a nearby Bradley. The tank exposes its weakest side, and the outcome is inevitable. The Bradley fires several consecutive rounds, disabling the Russian tank before turning its attention to nearby structures. The result: the Russian tank is destroyed. Two armored giants face each other on the battlefield, an old Bradley and a modern Russian BTR-82A. In the footage, it's clear that the BTR spots the enemy first and opens fire, but the Ukrainian vehicle responds almost instantly. Within moments, the Bradley gains the upper hand. Watch those flashes. They're the Bradley's precise return shots. The vehicle advances aggressively, almost charging forward, forcing the Russian BTR to abandon its position. The duel is short, and the outcome is clear. The BTR is completely neutralized. The clash took place in the village of Stepov, in Ukraine's Donetsk region. As one Bradley approaches a Russian T-90M tank, the crew decides to regroup and reassess the situation, pulling the armored vehicle back. But a second Bradley doesn't retreat. The risk is high, the odds of success low, yet it charges into the duel. The moment it enters the firing line, the Bradley attacks. Its electronic interference disrupts the T-90M's navigation and targeting systems, effectively blinding and deafening the Russian tank. The tank starts rotating its turret uncontrollably before crashing into a tree. The duel ends there. The T-90M is defeated once again. Now let's take a closer look at Russia's flagship tank, the T-90M. It will be interesting to see how it performs under modern battlefield conditions. One of its most critical weaknesses is the ease with which its ammunition ignites when damaged. A Ukrainian FPV drone can be seen approaching the target. The operator guides it toward an open hatch, and the explosion occurs right inside it. That single strike is enough to set off the ammunition. Flames burst out through the turret and driver's compartment. Yet another abandoned T-90M added to the list. The operator uses the same tactic on another tank. In the footage, flames shoot out of both turret hatches, the driver's hatch, and near the gun barrel. In such cases, the crew's chances of survival are nearly zero. In another scene, a Russian tank preparing to attack is spotted by a Ukrainian drone. The FPV drone targets the engine compartment, and seconds later, a second drone hits the turret. The damaged tank stalls. A third drone quickly positions itself. Since the hatches are closed, the operator aims for the weak point between the turret and the hull. That area has thinner armor and houses the ammunition storage. The explosion's pressure blasts the hatches open and flames pour out, engulfing the entire tank. As the heat builds up, secondary explosions erupt. The $3.5 million tank is destroyed by just 3 drones, worth about $1,500. Now, an assault drone armed with a hand grenade is preparing for its mission. The target, another modern Russian tank. The drone descends, releases the grenade, and moments later, a powerful explosion follows. Flames burst from the tank's openings as the ammunition detonates. In the next scene, we see a better protected target. The Russians have installed electronic warfare systems and reinforced their turrets with mesh cages. Additional armor plates have been added too, but the experienced drone operator spots a slightly open hatch and drops the grenade right through it. Fire breaks out inside the tank. The suppression systems fail to activate. The only reason there's no explosion is that the tank had already depleted its ammunition. In another example, the tank's underbelly armor is reinforced with chains. The turret is surrounded by reactive armor and extra shields, equipped with a modular machine gun and electronic warfare system. The drone hovers above for a moment, then descends to increase accuracy. The grenade is dropped, a perfect hit. At first, only a thin plume of smoke rises, but within seconds the tank turns into a fireball. Reactive armor modules begin exploding one after another. Thermal traps ignite, and flames shoot out in all directions. The tank is completely destroyed. The tank maneuvers, fires, everything seems normal. But seconds later, it moves forward and hits a mine. The result is catastrophic. While Abrams and Leopard tanks lose mobility when their tracks are blown off, the Russian tank instantly erupts into a fireball. The reason is the highly explosive reserve ammunition stored beneath the floor, which detonates upon impact. Thank you for watching.